Well, welcome back. My guest this segment, as I was just reading a little bit of his background, I'm asked the question to myself, when does this guy sleep? We are delighted to have with us Reverend Robert Cormier. He's a priest with the Archdiocese in New Jersey, Newark, New Jersey, pastor, preacher, teacher, theologian, pontifical license in philosophy, and also in theology. And for 25 years, he's been an inner city pastor, prison chaplain, rehab counselor. And somewhere in between all that, he does a weekly radio show. So, Pastor Cormier, nice to have you with us.
Thank you very much for having me.
God bless you. Where are you? In New Jersey today?
Well, I'm in Jersey City, New Jersey, where it is cold, although not nearly as cold as probably you are in places in the Middle West.
Well, we're actually in a little bit of a dry spell, so you guys are in some really cold areas back there. Thanks for your time. I value this greatly. And we want to talk about your subject that you talk about, applying faith to our daily struggles. And you made the comment that people have faith backwards. What do you mean by that?
Well, I think, unfortunately, it's the one idea that almost all religions, bad idea that almost all religions have in common, and that is the idea that faith in the end is just about essentially wishful thinking. If I really believe hard that God is going to do something for me, if I pray with confidence that he will do something for me, then he will do it. You hear people talk that way all the time. They talk to each other about their problems, and someone says, well, you got to have faith. And you know what they mean is if they just pray hard that it's going to work out, then it's going to work out the way they want it to. And then when it doesn't, then they'll tell you that they're losing their faith. But really, faith is about our experience of God and knowing that God is God and that he has the very best possible reason for everything that we go through on our way to live with him forever. And that's something that is guaranteed to make you feel better, is to give you peace no matter what's happening, give you peace with yourself, peace with your past, things you can't change, and peace as you look forward into your future.
Now, you've collected some stories on this and written about it. Share with us a little bit.
Well, the book you're referring to, which is called Better Than We Believed, right. How to Apply the Vision, which is Faith, to the Struggle, which is Life, starts with 7 profiles of people that you would recognize. There's no one person in my experience that is that person. Each person represents hundreds of people that I've dealt with who've matched the profile. So you have a person, for example, who's simply struggling with anger and doesn't exactly know why. He's just really not happy. You have another person who's very, very stressed, and uncomfortable around others really all the time. A person who's being consumed by hatred because he's been cheated and he can't do anything about it. A person who's been betrayed in her marriage and it's over now, and that's created all kinds of feelings. A person who feels trapped, taking care of a loved one who doesn't make it easy, and so this is the way life is going to end. A person whose spouse has ended, whose life has ended, who's died, and she can't get over that. Fears that she never will be able to get over it. A person who has not had much faith in his life and has now found that he's dying. And these people hear about, in the book, they hear about a talk essentially given by yours truly, called Faith, We Have It Backwards, and it's presenting a new idea of faith, it says. We're presuming nothing, not quoting any authorities, not saying you have to believe because somebody says so, but just starting with the idea that you don't necessarily know anything about anything. You have no presumptions. Trying to explain things to people so they can see it for themselves, and they like it. And it does seem to offer an awful lot of hope that they didn't think of before. And now they want to talk to this guy about their thing, and then he talks with them about their specific problem and shows them how that faith applies to it. And then things end up in their lives so much better than they believed was possible. And that's the idea.
How do you plug God's grace and mercy into that?
Well, God's love is absolutely behind all of it. The fact is, for example, when someone has been betrayed, what they need most of all is to love themselves for the right reason, which is that God loves them, him or her, for who he made that person to be so far. God's love and forgiveness is always at the base of a person's happiness and therefore their holiness. And so it's never not there. It's always there.
Now, you say there's a scientific side to faith?
Well, yes, the presenter is trying to present things to people who, without any presumptions at all. So he's presuming people have come with all kind of ideas about what's true or not true and so forth. And he's saying faith is scientific, meaning, well, what is science? Science is going by the evidence. And what is the evidence? How do we get the evidence? We get it from experience. And so what he's attempted to do is to talk to people and to point out to them how they can experience God within their own experience.
Okay, I wonder if we lost our connection there. Okay.
And beyond that, to explain to them that the way human knowing actually...
Are you okay? Go ahead. Sorry.
Still. Okay. No, that explain to them how to understand their own process of knowing so they can realize that their experience that everything comes from something greater is an experience that they can take seriously. It really is them seeing God. And even beyond that, to answer the question, if God is behind all things, why do we need to know him by such a nebulous manner, which is faith? Sometimes modern people don't believe because it seems that if there was a God, we shouldn't have to believe. We should just be able to know. And so we're learning that, well, in a sense, that is the way it is. It's just, and as we grow, we see God better and better behind the things that he's made. And so all of a sudden, they themselves feel real sure about their experience of God. And then from that, a concept of faith is derived for them, an explanation of life, which is remarkably clear and simple, and obviously changes how they look at everything that they've experienced in their lives, everything they have to do or can't do or have or don't have. And that's the new idea of faith.
All right, the book is entitled Better Than We Believe, and you can check it out at the bookstores. Who's the publisher?
The publisher is Crossroad Publishing.
Okay. And
you can also read about the book, if you like, from my own website. If you don't mind, I'll plug it.
Sure.
It's called thefaithkit.org. The Faith Kit as one single word, no spaces. And there you'll find out about not just this book, but you'll find an enormous amount of material, most of which is downloadable or viewable completely for free. It involves whole other books, many stories, short pieces on numerous religious topics. There's art, there's music. There is the Faith Kit itself, a whole set of tools to allow you to pull something down, put it on your desk, put it in your wallet, put it in your car, keep faith in front of you all the time. Just an enormous number of tools available to people at thefaithkit.org.
All right. Finally, as a chaplain in the prison, how do you explain what you just explained to me? How do you explain that to a prisoner?
Thank you for saying that. People ask me that all the time, and I really say I preach to prisoners and speak with addicts and so forth exactly the same way that I would speak to you. The only difference, honestly, would be that when I talk to people in churches, most of all, I tend to discourage them from watching too much television because of all the bad things that happen to your mind when you watch too much television. Now, I stay away from that a little bit in jail because they don't really have a whole lot of other things to do. Mm-hmm. So apart from making people feel bad about the fact that they're watching television, I speak to prisoners and other people in big trouble exactly the same way I speak to anyone else, because the basics apply to everyone's life. They change how everyone can see their life. They offer so much more than people expected. Things really are much better than people believed that they were, and that applies to everyone.
Well, you're a delight. Thank you so much. And again, the website for those who want to get the book and check out other material.
It's thefaithkit.org, The Faith Kit, as one single word, no spaces. And please know if any of your viewers or listeners like that site and have a question or want to make a comment, I'm one of the best responders. I write back to everyone.
Okay. Thank you, my friend, and Happy New Year to you.
Thank you very much for having me today.
God bless. We'll be right back.